Hey guys, so today we're going to be continuing our conversation about rounding. Remember our three important questions. What is rounding? Why do we use it? And how do we actually round? So, to answer our question of what is it, remember rounding is when we take those exact numbers like 41, 37, 84, and we use them to make them more friendly. So, rounding is when we take those exact numbers and we make them friendly numbers that end in zero. Why do we use rounding? So we use rounding when we need to manipulate or put a lot of numbers together or count a lot of things, and we can't do the exact number because it would take forever. And so we use rounding to kind of help us figure out about how many things there are, about how many people there are, or whatever it is that we're rounding or estimating. So how do we round? So if you remember yesterday, we looked at the number line and we looked at how do we use the number line to round. So why don't we do some practice problems with that right now? I'm gonna move this out the way. So let's take our first number and let's do 29. We'll just do Miss Tinsley's age, 29. So I'm gonna take the number 29 and I'm gonna use my number line again to round. Okay. So when I'm using this, I want to think what two tens is 29 in between. So if I go back to my hundreds chart, if I look at the number 29, what two tens is it in between? And remember, those tens are like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And it just keeps going and going and going. So looking at 29, if I go backwards, what 10 will I hit first? If I keep going backwards, I'm going to hit 20. So I'm going to put 20 on my number line. And then I'm going to go forward. So what would be the next 10? It should be 30. All right. So then I want to take the number 29 and I want to place it on my number line. So I have 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and then 29. So 29 is the number that I'm looking at. So would 29 be closer to the 10, 30, or would it be closer to the 10, 20? It'd be closer to 30 because I only have to hop one time to get to 30, but to get to 20, I have to hop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's closer to the 30. Let's do another practice problem. So we're going to round to the nearest 10 again. We want to figure out 67 is about how many? So what will we round that to? So again, our first step is to draw a number line. Second step, to figure out what two tens it lies in between, because we're rounding to the nearest 10. That would be 60 if I go backwards. And if I go forward, the next 10 would be 70. Okay. So next I need to plot my number, 67. I've got 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and then there's 70. So our number 67 is closer to what 10? Is it closer to 60 or is it closer to 70? Good, 70. I hope you said 70 because it's only 4 jumps away or 3 jumps away from 70. 1, 2, 3 jumps away from 70. So it's definitely closer to 70. So when we round, we would say 67 is about 70. All right, let's try one more. Rounding to the nearest 10 again. Got to draw my number line. And you can practice this on your whiteboard too with me if you're got your whiteboard close by. So if I go backwards, if I start at 86 and I go backwards on my 100 star, the first 10 I'm going to run into is 80. If I start at 86 and go forward, the next 10 I'm going to run into is 90. Now I got to plot my number. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89. So I'm looking at the number 86. Is it closer to 87? I mean, is it closer to 90 or is it closer to 80? I'll give you a second to figure that out. 86 would be closer to 90. So 86 is about 90. Now, if you remember yesterday, not only can we round to the nearest 10, but we can also round to the nearest 100. So it's the same thing. I'm just going to draw my number line. But I'm not going to plot those whole 100 numbers. I'm going to go ahead and think about, since I'm rounding to the nearest 100. If I started at 246 and went backwards, what would be the first 100 that I came to? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, and it keeps going. But I'm at 246, I'm going to go backwards. 200 would be the first 100 that I came to. If I kept going forward, the next 100 would be 300. So instead of plotting the 100 points and plotting 246, I'm just going to count by tens. So this would be 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290. Now 246 would be about right here, because I know that's 240. So 246 got to be about right there. Now, is that closer to 200 or 300? Give you a second to figure that one out. So yeah, it's about 300. I mean, about 200, sorry. Now, after a while, sometimes it gets a little tiresome drawing the number line. So I want to show you another little trick to help you out.